Hey, this is Mike from Minimal 3DP, and as I sit here recovering from heart surgery, I've had a lot of time to think and put some stuff together. Today we're going to look at the best 3D printer slicer settings and what that really means. So let's go ahead and get started. I know over time, both me and other channels have done a lot of different videos about quote unquote the best 3D printer settings and what you need to do. Now, my slicer of choice is Orca Slicer. And if we look through Orca Slicer, there are literally hundreds, probably thousands of different settings we can set. There's no perfect setting for one scenario. But what you can do is optimize for aesthetics and quality, strength, flexibility, and maybe surface roughness and some other different parameters. Now, again, everybody has their own opinion on what settings you need to use. I usually inform my decisions. I'm a big proponent of using Google Scholar. What Google Scholar is, it's a search engine that lets you search for academic papers and journal articles. Now, what's really cool about it is you can go over here, and what I typically do is I look for newer articles. So I usually set it to 2021 or 2024 so I can find, again, articles that are relatively new. I've just done a quick search for FDM 3D printing process parameters. And in my case, I'm interested in what parameters affect what property. Now, if I look down through here, you can start seeing really quickly that here's an impact of process parameters, and that's the parameters you select in your slicer on mechanical properties. And I can go over here, and a PDF is available, so I can click on it and actually read the article and see how does different parameters, high strength, high temperature, and how does the process parameters, or what I select in the slicer, how does that affect different properties? So if I look here, layer thickness affects bending and flexural strength, raster orientation, infill density, all the stuff we'd sort of expect. I have one article I really like and I've used in the past, sort of as a reference for myself. And it's this systematic survey of FDM process parameter optimization and their influence on part characteristics. So what this article goes into is different parameters and how it affects the print. And it's pretty thorough. And if I go down here, here's a similar diagram to the last article. But what I like about this one is that it's build time, dimensional accuracy, surface roughness, and 3 different kinds of strength: flexural, compressive, and tensile. So it sort of gives me an idea of here's the print properties that affect those different, again, say build time, dimensional accuracy, etc. So again, I find that really helpful. I've started working on a program to help pull some of these settings from these journal articles and sort of give you a reference. And so let me switch over and show you what I've built. So what I've built is I've put together something I'm calling the OrcaSlicer Expert Assistant. Now, it's focused on OrcaSlicer, but this should work for any slicer. Now, if we look here on how to use this tool, first thing I have you do is select the filament you want to use, because that has some characteristics with it. And then if we look here, you can set your print priority from 0, I don't care, all the way up to 100, which is your max priority. And here it gives you a quick breakdown of strength has to do with functional parts, tools, and mechanical properties. Speed is great for iterating on a design and prototyping. Quality, again, display models and miniatures. And then accuracy, particularly important, again, for prints that need to fit together. Now, the way I've set this up is I can go through here and select a material. And if you look through all the different materials I have a bunch. You can see if I select ABS, it gives us some warnings that, hey, we need a heated enclosure, must be dried, ventilation, And hey, here's something good. It has good chemical resistance. But it's important to note, again, you need that heat of the closure and ventilation. Now, if I go down to PLA, PLA is the simplest, which most of us use. It's prone to creep, which means it forms under sustained load over time. That's important to note. If I just leave everything at 50% here and just leave it on tactile strength, I just hit Get Expert Recommendations. And basically, it just talks about an all-around profile of 0.2 layer height, 3 walls, 50% geoid infill, and doesn't really give us much else. But now let's try going all the way up to 100% on dimensional accuracy. Now you'll notice that it's pointing out some dimensional accuracy with shrinkage. Outer wall speed needs to be slower. Wall generator, it's recommending Arachne. And then for the layer height, it's recommending 0.12 to 0.16. And again, interesting stuff where it sort of gives you an idea of what settings you should be looking at. I want here for let's bump up mechanical strength and build time. Hit Get Expert Recommendations. So again, gives me that layer height, talks about the temperature, and particularly a little bit higher temperatures are good for strength. Print speed here. And then again, talks about layer heights, the infill speeds, inner wall speeds, infill patterns, and acceleration. Now, none of this is perfect, but it sort of gives you an idea of how to set your settings in your slicer to, again, at least based on research, meet your goals here. Now, over time, I'm going to add some more to this, but this is my initial attempt. Now, I'll point out I did add some affiliate links for different filaments over here to the side, and I did that mainly because I thought over time this will help me generate a little bit of revenue that I can use to plow back into my work, because I use that for the channel. Now, if you have any questions or comments, I'd love to hear from you. Just to show how I got these different parameters for the filaments, I'll show you that real quick before I sign off. So in order to get a lot of the information for the different filaments, I went to a whole bunch of different manufacturers' websites and downloaded over 130 technical data sheets. So if I go down here and let me select eSun ABS, if I double click on that, this is the PDF they put together on their filament with all the technical information. And so I've used AI to help extract that data and then put that into the application. Again, you can see how it has different information down here at the bottom, some of the different values for strength and heat distortion, all that good stuff. So again, you have any questions or comments, please let me know. I hope you find this useful. And I'm not saying it's the be-all end-all, but hey, if you're new to 3D printing and you're trying to figure out what settings to use, this may be a good start for you. Again, if you have any questions or comments, or you notice any errors, please let me know. I look forward to talking to you again soon. Thanks. Have a great day.